Mr. Isaacson, I was just wondering first if you could talk about why you decided to come to Elon and deliver a convocation here.
Oh, well, I was invited, and it's a beautiful place to come down, and many other speakers have been here for these type of convocations, but it's always a pleasure to bounce ideas around with students and faculty at a place like this.
Has there been a defining moment in your youth that made you realize you wanted to go into journalism and media?
Yeah, I had an uncle who was a great novelist, or sort of a family distant uncle, Walter Percy, who wrote novels, and he one point said to me, you know, there are two types of people come out of Louisiana, which is where I was born. He said, preachers and storytellers. And he said, for goodness sake, be a storyteller, the world has too many preachers. So I decided I'd be a journalist.
In 1996, you were with Time, and then you transitioned that to a career with CNN, and now with the Aspen Institute, a wide range of experiences. How difficult was that transition from a more traditional kind of print format to going online to the web and making that transition?
The biggest transition that was very difficult for me was going from print to television when I went from Time to CNN. I didn't understand TV that much, and I was pretty good at magazines. I knew what they should look like and feel like. But when I got to CNN, I realized I did not have a good grasp of how to make television.
So what advice would you give to a student who wants to pursue a career in journalism?
I think that journalism is really great these days, but the business model is broken. So I would say study business, study technology, and study journalism, because somebody's going to have to figure out the intersection of business, technology, and journalism so that we have a good revenue stream for good journalism in the future.
I would just be curious to hear your thoughts from your initial political reporting to this political reporting and what you see as the threats to the media industry with covering politics today.
Well, I think the threats of the media industry to politics, I also think the threats the media industry is causing. You know, when I first started covering politics, the country wasn't as fragmented. Even a Ronald Reagan, who was quite conservative, was the first presidential candidate I covered, was a very inclusive, decent person who tried to make everybody around him feel valued, whether or not you liked his political philosophy. And nowadays, everybody's become quite bitter and poisoned, and that's a really bad thing for the country and for the media. Thank you all.
Sarah, appreciate it.
Oh,
Yeah, well.